What's up, everybody? Josh Armijo here. I hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I got an Arsenal inventory update to do for you guys. Vinyl this time. And this is my first video back in my new home. Man, this move has been quite an eye-opener for me in more ways than one, on a professional and personal sort of front. I need a new beginning, I need a new life, and I feel like this move is definitely a step in the right direction. It hasn't been easy getting everything moved from one place to another. As you can see behind me, I do have one of those nice record shelves that you see a lot of other metal YouTubers have. I finally have one of my own. I didn't think it would even fucking happen, but it finally happened. And I'm very happy that this thing is built. There's even a backing behind it to make sure that everything is nice and sturdy. And I'm very pleased and satisfied with the results. I feel like I'm about 75 to 80% complete with moving stuff, and I'm landing towards that home stretch. I definitely want to get this move situated as soon as possible, but I also didn't want to keep anybody waiting as far as me making videos is concerned. I didn't want to leave things too stagnant. Excuse me. I missed doing these videos. I missed all of you guys. There's been a lot of things going on as far as music is concerned. New bands, new stories, new interesting things happening, new shows. A lot of things to cover, a lot of things to play catch up on, but I'm going to try to get videos back up and pumping as much as possible. Hopefully maybe 2 videos a week, 1 or 2 videos a week, depending on how things are. I want to try to stay active and get videos going, but I missed you guys. I missed all of you guys, and we're going to talk about some records. This channel is about extreme metal, extreme music, and just talking about music I enjoy. But yeah, 2018 releases and some reissues are probably one of the best known Dutch extreme metal bands to have ever existed. But first, what we are listening to in the background, Triptychon, Epistera de Amones. Ooh. Alright. First record I'm going to show you is a band that's been making a lot of waves recently with their new full-length album, and they just got signed to Profile More Records, and a lot of my friends have been talking a bunch about this band, and when I finally got to find out what all the fuss was about, I decided to finally listen to them, and I am 100% sold. This is Of Feather and Bone with Bestial Hymns of Perversion. Yeah. This is a 2018 release through Profound Lore Records, and this is their second full-length album. Originally, they were signed to the Good Fight Entertainment label, and they put out an album entitled Embrace the Wretched Flesh, which is very intriguing because this band's earlier sort of sounds were kind of rooted in that almost dark, cryptic, punky sort of hardcore sound. Very ugly and evil sounding hardcore, which is the kind of hardcore I personally prefer, myself personally. But I feel that they have made the transition in sound kind of like pulling a Mammoth Grinder in a way, where they had one sound, but they changed their sound completely, and I believe that they have done far better for themselves since then. A Feather and Bone, on the other hand, make the move into a more dark, bestial sort of black death metal sound, and I think that this sound works out incredibly well for them. It's a short album, but you're going to get your money's worth with the 7 songs that are on here. Repulsive Obscurity, Lust for Torment, Mockery of the Ascension. Absolutely sick songwriting going on here. I think these guys are absolutely masterful when it comes to creating songs, song depths, and just pretty much getting inside the head and the mind of the listener with the music. The riffs are good, great bass tones. I love the vocal roaring going on here. Just a very solid and tight-knit sort of presentation here with Bestial Hymns of Perversion. And this band is quite the hard-working sort of band. I believe they have that kind of DIY sort of ethos going for them just a little bit. But I think that this album will shoot them further into the stratosphere and hopefully get them more listeners and more attention. Really, really solid stuff. But anyway, here's the front cover. This is an alternate cover in comparison to the CD. Dig the silver foil embossment on the top left of the jacket. Very good artwork. Back cover. Band members in question. Track listing. Profound Lore Records. Comes with an insert with some additional sort of artwork going on here. Lyrics and credits. Hold on. Ooh. All right, and the first press of this record sold quite well. This also came with a digital download code, but if you want that download code, buy the record yourself. And I was lucky enough to score one of the color variants, and this is on a nice crystal clear vinyl. You see side A. Artwork piece on side B. Good quality record as per usual with Profound Lore stuff. Very, very badass. But yeah, A Feather and Bone are definitely making a lot of moves here with their current soundscape, and I hope they stick with it. A Feather and Bone, Bestial Hymns of Perversion. Go check this one out. From the US, we moved to Canada for one of the more notable bands to represent Canadian black and death metal. These guys are absolute legends in my opinion. And when I found out that they were putting out a new full-length album this year, I was extremely excited for it. This is Rites of Thy Degringolade with The Blade Philosophical. Yeah. 2018 release through Nuclear War Now Productions, and like I said, Rites of Thy Degringolade are based out of Canada, and they are a very notable, legendary sort of band. Always been consistent with their material over the years. A lot of great demo and EP releases, the split with Portal, and the fact that some of these guys were involved in other interesting sort of projects, Amphis Bana, Weapon, to name a few. But Rites of Thy Degringolade is just an incredible project in its own right. Notably the previous two full-lengths that predated this one, Totality and An Ode to Sin. The last album that they came out with, An Ode to Sin, was in 2005, and this almost 13 years later, Rites of Thy Degringolade return with The Blade Philosophical, and pretty much they have not lost a single pep in their step. They're still as venomous and as cutthroat as ever before, and this album is really, really fantastic stuff all the way throughout. Really awesome lengthy tracks here, a lot of awesome drumming, a lot of good vocals. I mean, listen to songs like the title track, The Universe in Three Parts, I Am the Way, the Truth, and the Knife. Absolutely sick as fuck. Yeah, like I said, Rites of Thy Degringolade are one of those legendary sort of Canadian metal bands that have always been consistent with their material, and this new full-length is easily some of the best stuff I've heard them do yet. Rites of Thy Degringolade are back with a vengeance, and hopefully this will be the start of greater things to come. So anyway, here's the front cover. Very simplistic sort of album cover here. I love the hands, love the blade. Very, very badass sort of album cover. There you see the logo for Rites of Thy Degringolade right there. Back cover. Track listing and credits. Pretty suggestive finger pose right there. Gatefold with some manifestos. I believe these are the lyrics for this title track, if I'm not mistaken. Which is pretty cool to see the lyrics for one song on the gatefold here. Comes with an insert lyric sheet for the rest of the songs. Yeah. Very, very nice. Credits and information right here. And there are two different versions of this vinyl variant. There's a die-hard version. I believe it's on silver vinyl. I think it comes with a patch sticker and a flag. But I just opted for the standard black vinyl edition. You still get your money's worth with the standard black vinyl. Side A, side B. Very, very killer quality here as per usual with this Nuclear War Now pressing. Very badass stuff, but yeah. Rites of Thy Degringolade are back with a vengeance, and The Blade Philosophical is enough proof of that. But yeah, The Blade Philosophical by Rites of Thy Degringolade. Go check this one out. And from Canada, we move to Australia for the latest full-length from probably one of the most violent bands to come out from that country. This is Vomitor with Pestilent Death. Yeah. 2018 release through Hell's Headbangers Records, and Vomitor are, in my opinion, one of those death metal bands from Australia that really accompanies their look, their sound, their aesthetic, and their presence. It's just crushing stuff, and they have been crushing ever since the very get-go, with albums like Bleeding the Priest, Devil's Poison, and the last time we had heard something from Vomitor with 2012's The Escalation. Absolutely killer full-length material from this band. Of course, a lot of the people in Vomitor are busy dudes themselves. Runnerjma, of course, also plays in Portal, and like I said in the Portal review that I did earlier the year, you could hear some of those Vomitor riffs creeping up on Ion. But now that we have an actual Vomitor record, it's pretty much back to business as usual, and this is absolutely stellar stuff. It's a short album, it's only 7 tracks and a half hour long, but you're going to get some absolute burners here with this album. Roar of War, Abracadabra, Tremendous Insane. I mean, the riffs on this album are so memorable. I absolutely love that about this album. Memorable riffs, memorable vocals, just stuff that gets stuck in your head for a very long time. And it's unfortunate that they had to pull out of playing Destroying Texas Fest this year, because they would have easily put on the performance of the night if they were still on the bill. But hopefully they find a way to play America one of these days and absolutely crush it. But yeah, Pestilent Death is marvelous. Easily one of the best death metal albums to come out of 2018. But anyway, here's the front cover. Love this album cover art here. Very badass Vomitor logo here. Back cover. Track listing, band members, side death, side metal. Very badass. Comes on a printed inner sleeve. Some more artwork and some lyrics being posted here. Very, very badass. Some thanks list and credits. Very, very sick. Yeah. And there are multiple vinyl variations of this album. I believe there's a picture disc and there's a German flag. There's one of those striped vinyl variations. But yeah, got the Oxblood Red variant. Very, very good quality here. Side death, side metal. Very, very sick. But yeah, Vomitor are back, and they absolutely kill it here with Pestilent Death. Easily one of the best death metal records of 2018. Vomitor, Pestilent Death, go check this one out. And speaking of things that are pestilent, let's get right on to talking about the latest line of reissues from the band Pestilence. Of course, if you know Pestilence, they are based out of the Netherlands, and they are one of the most iconic, legendary sort of death metal bands to come out from that country. Very notable for their early Roadrunner Records era releases, and overall their diversity and their soundscapes. They put out a brand new full-length album this year, and I honestly would have to say that it's probably the best of the current era sort of sound. But like everything, like every band that goes through sound changes, there has to be a beginning and an end point. And we're going to talk about the beginning here with three of the reissues that Hammerheart Records put out. They recently reissued 4 Pestilence full-length albums, and 3 of them are going to get talked about here. And let's get right on started with what started out first. This is Pestilence with Malleus Maleficarum. Yeah. This is their debut full-length from 1988, and of course this is originally released on Roadrunner Records, back when they were called RC Records, back in the late 80s. And yeah, this is the debut album from Pestilence, and almost 30 years later, this album still holds up very well. This is still a very much true to the roots sort of death metal record, pretty much badassery all the way through. Tracks like Subordinate to the Domination, Chemo Therapy, Osculum and Fame. Absolutely memorable stuff. Of course, I would consider a vocalist like Martin Van Drunen to be very, very important and influential to Pestilence's history, in addition to Patrick Mameli's guitar playing. A lot of memorable moments to be heard throughout this record. It's still very, very much a fast-paced sort of record, very memorable, very much straight-to-the-point record. but things would only get crazier for Pestilence from here. But anyway, here's the front cover. Love the jacket, love the gloss on here. Very, very nicely done quality here. Back cover, track listing, band member photos. Comes with a lyric sheet. There you have some classic band member photos on the back here, and credits. Very, very good job done here with the layout and presentation. And I'm not sure of the limitation of everything, but I got the black vinyl variant, and they're good quality black vinyl here. Side A, side B. Yeah, very, very badass sound quality on this record. It sounds wonderful. But yeah, very awesome debut full length from Pestilence from 1988 with Malleus Maleficarum. But like I said, things would only get crazier from here, and we now enter what I consider to be one of the greats, one of the all-time greats, one of my favorite death metal records, one of my absolute favorite Pestilence record. Once again, this is Pestilence with Consuming Impulse. The V's are very much relevant here. Yeah. This is the second Pestilence album from 1989, and there were some changes going on in here. Instead of one guitar player named Patrick, we had two guitar players named Patrick. Patrick Mamelli, Patrick Uderick. Very much memorable stuff going on here with the inclusion of a new guitar player. Of course, Martin Van Druden sticking around. Oh my god. Absolute classic death metal album. Very recognizable stuff all the way through and through. Dehydrated, suspended animation, out of the body. Excuse me, Echoes of Death. So many memorable songs on here, such amazing lyrics, such great attention to detail. Everything about this Pestilence record is what makes death metal so awesome. And almost 30 years later with this particular album, it still holds up very, very well here. Yeah, out of everything Pestilence has done, this is easily my favorite thing that they've ever done. Absolute masterpiece. And anyway, here's the front cover. Very recognizable album cover art. The ants eating whoever this is. Beautiful artwork. Once again, like the previous jacket, there's some matte finish and gloss on this jacket. Very good quality here. Back cover with band members and track listing. Very, very old school quality to a T here. Comes with a lyric sheet insert. Collage photos of classic Pestilence era stuff. Lyrics and credits. The remastering job on here is sensational, I must say, for all of these reissues. And also on a heavy standard black vinyl. Side A, side B. Really, really killer quality going on here. But yeah. Favorite Pestilence album for me, Consuming Impulse. Very much important all these years later. And the last record I'm going to show you is the last of the Pestilence reissues that I was able to acquire. And things began to also change for this band's sound quality and presentation. Once again, this is Pestilence with Testimony of the Ancients. Yeah. This is their third full-length album from 1991. Once again, this was released on Roadrunner, Road Racer Records, RC Records, whatever the hell you want to call it. And yeah, this is where I believe the change began to accompany. There was a new sound to be coming forward from Pestilence. There was the traditional sort of death metal sound, but things began to get a little more technical, a lot more creative, and there you have these rowdy jazz fusion sort of elements going on here with this album. And I think that this is the jazz fusion experimentation was something that a band like Pestilence would become later known for throughout the years, especially when it came to their newer sound. And I think those subtle hints and pieces being put for all these songs are absolutely phenomenal. Mad love for this Pestilence record, for them trying something different and trying to be a little more creative. The Secrecies of Horror, Land of Tears, Prophetic Revelations, stigmatized, absolutely rowdy songwriting going on here. Even the little nice touches of interludes being included on this record to give some depth and balance to some of the songs is really cool. But yeah, great Pestilence album, and I would honestly consider of course the next album that would come after that would be Spheres, where they take even further depths into their experimental sort of sounds in death metal, jazz, and experimentation. It's just rowdy stuff. But yeah, the early days of Pestilence are easily still the best days of this band. So anyway, here's a front cover. Very recognizable artwork here. I believe Seagrave did this artwork. Yeah, Dan Seagrave did the artwork. Love the foil embossment on the band logo and the album name. Back cover, track listings. Comes with a fold-out lyric sheet. On this side you have collage band photos, classic Pestilence flyers. You open it up and you have lyrics and credits. There you see that Patrick Mameli is doing the vocals on this one, and Tony Choi did bass work for this album. His presence is very well heard and established throughout this entire album. And like the previous reissues, it's on a standard black vinyl. Nice heavy black vinyl. Dig the B-side of this art. Very cool. But yeah, Hammerheart Records did a very bang-up job with these reissues. I got these in the US through 20 Bucks Spin, and if they should happen to stock them, I would definitely have to recommend that you get them. Very good stuff. But yeah, Pestilence, Testimony of the Ancients, absolutely killer album. And with that being said, I'm going to conclude this video. If you happen to have heard any of these albums that I've shown to you in this video, let me know what you think and how you feel about them. What have your favorite 2018 releases been so far? Are any of you guys into Pestilence? Do you have a favorite early Pestilence record? I don't know what I'm going to do next, but hopefully I will get videos back up and running as soon as possible, so definitely bear with me and stay tuned. The sponge is back. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a great rest of your weekend. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel. And until the next time, Army Ho out.